Michelle is a musician with albums released as Everyone Except Me and artist behind the post-apocalyptic webcomic Stray Cats. She's kind, a bit shy, and furiously creative. Henrique is a filmmaker with over 24 films and TV shows as producer, director, and occasionally host. He also released a couple of music albums. He's bombastic, larger than life, and tenacious almost to a fault. Together, they've been best friends for a decade. This show is awkward.
So, Michelle.
So.
I mean, it's good when you're quiet because some people just listen.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at least sometimes they get to see your face.
Mm.
So I just want to point out that one of the reasons I took a while today to get ready for the podcast is because since we record video, you know, I like get my hair to look okay or try to, or like I'll put on a nice shirt as opposed to like whatever the hell it is I wear in my general life. And one of the things I have to do is if I want to put on a Hawaiian shirt, which is, you know, a thing I do pretty much every day. If I'm doing anything, you know, outside of my own house, I have to walk up to the Hawaiian shirt like sideways so that I'm not walking straight to it, and then like grab it with one hand while not looking at it. And then I have to slowly leave the room and put the Hawaiian shirt on in a room where the dogs can't see me. Because if I don't, they go crazy thinking that we're going to go do something. Like we're going to go on a ride or something.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you were just trying not to scare the Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I mean, it is a very sensitive Hawaiian shirt. I'll give you that. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing I go through every week so that I can, you know, do the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you have been doing things.
Really?
You were just at a home inspection, weren't you?
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
You guess?
Yeah, I guess.
What does that mean, you guess?
I don't know.
Were you at a home inspection or not?
Yeah.
How was it?
Oh, it was fine. On the flip side, I just got home and had lunch and did not do anything to what I'm wearing or my hair.
But you did go out of the house. You like had a base amount of like you prepared yourself to leave the house.
I think that you misunderstand. Like I don't do anything. Like I mean, I'm wearing clothes, so yeah. Like but I wear them in the house too.
I think you are misunderstanding that the bar is already low for me. The bar is like, hey, make sure to like shake your hair out and then like put on a Hawaiian shirt and also have on pants and a shirt. So
I mean,
but I was less than that before we did the show because I didn't have to leave the house for any reason.
I mean, your hair looks really shiny and nice, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I took a shower after my hot tub soak because I'm trying to soak in the hot tub every morning because, you know, you can't. I tried soaking in the hot tub in the middle of the day, and it's just not that good. 102-degree water in the middle of the blazing sun. Not a fan. Not a huge fan. But first thing in the morning, like 7:30 in the morning, fucking, it's amazing. And like 11 o'clock at night, it's amazing.
Good.
And it's been getting really chilly at night around here. It's been getting into the 60s at night. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. So, but I want to talk about your home inspection before I start talking all about the hot tub and wrapping the movie we just shot. Cause like I have all kinds of junk to talk about, but I want you to talk about your junk. Michelle?
Yeah. Okay.
So you went to a house well, you're shadowing an inspector, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what does that entail exactly? I mean, I know you're watching, but like, what does it entail? Do you actually do much more than watch, or what do you do?
I go to the place and then I wait for him because it says that I should be there 15 to 20 minutes early. So I am, but he's always like exactly on time. So I'm just like still the first person here. And then we go around and we look at stuff and I take lots of pictures and notes and I test all the outlets. to make sure that they're working and that they're grounded properly and that they trip when they're GFCIs. And then I test the windows to make sure they work. But the problem
is that by like just touching to make sure that you're not, there's something there?
Yeah. And also that they don't just fall out when you touch them. You gotta like run really fast because maybe they'll get you when they fall.
Like, wait a second, this isn't a window. This is nothing.
Sometimes it really is nothing. But the problem with the window is like the outlets are not a big deal because they're small and on the ground and they're low down. But the windows are a problem because I'm not very tall. So a lot of the windows, if they don't lock, I'm like, well, maybe the top portion of the window came down, but I can't check because it's so much taller than me.
You gotta get a step stool that you just have.
Yeah, I mean, I'll like, yeah, exactly. Or I could have stood on something, but all the windows that I couldn't get to lock actually did not lock, which was all of the downstairs windows, which is just wonderful, and the one in the basement. So you can just go in the house, any window you want. Nobody cares.
No one cares. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, some of the windows were the kind that you like crank. Those worked. But just the regular kinds didn't work. Oh. And they were really hard to open and close, which also made me feel inadequate because I was like struggling to lift them.
So I gotta get you a pull-up bar for Christmas.
No.
That way you could just do pull-ups every day until you're just like bizarrely jacked in your upper body.
I guess I could just go to a place with really hard to open windows and just do that all day.
Do it every day. Ja. Well, so the house, was it okay? Was it an okay house?
I was hoping it would be worse because it's been on the market for 70 days. So I was like, yes, so many problems. Because houses right now are on the market for like 5 days or 2 days.
Yeah.
So even if it was a month, I would have been like, I don't know. But it's just it's got renters in it. It smells kind of not good because of the renters and their pets. What
kind of smell are we talking? Oh, good pet smell.
Pet smell, and then also like there was in the basement, they had made it into a bedroom for someone, which always makes me sad. And there was just like, like old food containers. So like just not good smells. Like
so
bad.
The place was
smell.
Just ditched?
Oh no, it wasn't too bad. Like it was just not good.
But you said they're like empty food containers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean some of them were like Tupperware. So some of them were sealed, but like it was just gross.
It sounds really gross.
Yeah, it just smelled bad.
Yes.
Like not like you're gonna gag or anything bad. Just kind of like I don't think I want to live in a house that smells like this.
A not so fresh scent.
Yeah.
No, I mean that makes sense. I mean, I guess if you buy it, you have to be like, listen, but I'm not buying the smell. So
yeah, you keep the smell
with them.
Well, I mean, that's the really interesting thing about houses. We create our own little biome, basically, of our little bacteria friends. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it takes a while after you moved into a new house for it to acclimate to your personal biome. So it's probably going to be weird and smelly in there for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, old roof, some water problems in the basement. The electrical panel had water in it, which is always fun.
Well, I am not in home inspection school, which you are currently. But I'm pretty sure that electricity and water go together very well.
Yeah, exactly. You want them together because the water cools the electricity. Right. Keeps it all nice and cool.
Yeah, they balance each other out and create a safer environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, you don't even need school.
Yeah. So that was good. It's all rusty and,
Yay.
But my home inspector was like, "Oh, this panel's pretty good, except that there's water inside." And I was like, "I think that's the definition of the panel not being okay." Like
that tells you how often that must occur. That's his response. Hey, it's in pretty good shape, except there's some water in here. That must be normal then.
Well, I think it's like I think it was just like I mean, it's a huge deal, but I think it's more that like there could have been water, and then the panel could have also been like on fire, or like everything could have been wrong in the panel. So it's like most of the things in the panel are right, except that it's somehow water is leaking into it, and it's going to become a huge issue in the future.
I would have been really impressed if it could have been on fire and also soaking wet at the same time.
Well, it's an electrical fire, so I'm not really sure how that works.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds like it was eventful. So how many inspections have you went on so far?
Just 5.
5, and you have to go on 10?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're halfway.
Yeah, I wanted to go this week. There was going to be an inspection of a, modular mobile type home, and I really wanted to go on.
Are we talking like a trailer, or are we talking like a tiny house?
Oh, we're talking like a trailer, but like a really nice looking trailer,
but not a tiny house.
No, I would have said tiny house, and I don't think anybody even inspects those because they're technically not even houses, basically. They're technically like vehicles or like things. I don't remember what they are.
Vehicles or things. That's the next.
Just like
that's
things.
The Michelle T-shirt. They're technically vehicles or things.
But yeah, it was this really nice looking mobile home, like a double wide type thing, and it had like a porch and stuff.
Have you ever been in a double wide?
No.
They're spacious. They're surprisingly nice on the inside.
It looks
as far as size
super
and
nice.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the inspection just got canceled. Like it was on the schedule, and then it was just gone. And I was just like, but now I'll never go in a mobile home and inspect it.
I'm sorry.
How am I supposed to know what I'm looking for if I can't go in one and inspect it right now?
This is a travesty. Crime against justice.
Also, I haven't inspected a house that's like 300 years old, and I'm upset about that. Or even one that's like 150 years old. Yeah.
Well, be glad you're not out here. You'd have a hard time finding houses that are more than 70 or 80 years old around here.
I'm sorry.
I think because my house was built in 1956.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, that's exciting though. You're like, yeah, you're halfway there, man.
Yeah, I guess.
That's exciting. I'm sorry that I'm excited about an aspect of your life.
It's just not ever really going to work out, and this is going to be a huge waste of time, and everyone's going to go, do you remember when Michelle was trying to be a home inspector, and now she just lives under a bridge somewhere?
But it's a nice, structurally sound bridge.
I picked out a really good bridge, and I was like, this is going to last. This is perfect. The way the water, like, there's not a lot of water penetration, like the way it comes down. I installed gutters because
the
I don't.
runoff is completely manageable.
Yeah.
I don't foresee you ending up under a bridge, especially since you own a house.
Well, you don't know what. I mean,
you don't even
know
have a mortgage.
But maybe I can't pay my taxes anymore because they're kind of high.
That takes like 5 years. Like. And I'm pretty sure the IRS is just like police officers. Like you'll get warnings because you're a girl.
Oh, okay.
Just like speeding.
Just be like, but I'm a girl, and they'll be like,
oh I'm so sorry.
I'm not even sure about that you're a girl.
Miss, we need you to be homeless as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So, no. Well, good though. I'm glad that things are moving along. How many more classes do you have? How many more weeks of classes do you have?
After today, I'll have 3 more weeks. I think it's like heating, and cooling, because heating is 2 weeks for some reason.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of different types of heating and only a few types of cooling.
Yeah, no, you're right. But usually nothing is more than a week. So there must be lots of types, like lots and lots.
Well, I mean, just off the top of my head, it seemed, I mean, like, because, yeah, like air conditioning is like, okay, window units and central air.
Yeah, and we don't do window units because they're not part of the house.
So central air.
Yeah.
But with heat, it could be HVAC, it could be electric, it can be natural gas, it can be there's like the floorboard type of heating. There's like a lot of ways to heat a house, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like anything that's like HVAC is probably going to be under the same thing because that'll be like electric, HVAC, and gas, and probably oil. But then there'll be like electric baseboards, and then there'll be boilers and water boilers, and then probably he said that we're gonna cover steam boilers, but that he doesn't even see them, which is I see them, so it's important that I know about them. So yeah, and then there's the kind where it's like it's like heat, like a ducty thing, and like it's like kind of attached to your air condition. It's not really common in cooler areas, but I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar to me.
And then so
well, good. Congratulations, you're over halfway there.
Yeah.
For those who are only listening to audio, she looks very excited. Her eyebrows are perked up. She's smiling and she's throwing a peace sign like a kawaii character. So now that we've talked about that, now I will talk about we wrapped the movie. For those who listen the last few weeks, they know that I've been making a movie, and I am so tired. It's been almost 3 days, or it's been 3 days of resting. I'm so tired.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I knew I would. Our last day of shooting, it was 90. The highest it got was 94 or 95. And there were no clouds. It was just a bright, sunny, hateful day.
Aww.
And I was talking to a friend of mine about the sun, and he was like, well, I mean, did you at least have some shade? And I'm like, yeah, except during the 3 or 4 hours where shade doesn't exist because the sun is so high up.
Mm-hmm.
Solar noon is a real problem on movie sets, not just for like making people hot, but also because it just doesn't look very good. You have to diffuse and bounce the light and make it look not so ugly.
Yeah.
So we always eat lunch on solar noon just to waste some of the solar noon time.
That makes sense.
Over here, solar noon is 1:33 p.m. right now. So, but the shoot went well. The actors did well. Everybody seemed to be having a good time. It's just, it was so oppressively hot that it just made everything hard. Like we would wrap a scene and I would be like, all right, I'm going to go sit under the canopy. And I don't know for how long. Like that's what I'd say. I'd be like, I don't know for how long. So I tell them like, find a shady spot, whether it's under one of our canopies or if the trees are giving off shade. I was like, find a shady spot and rehearse and drink water. And that was everybody's, marching orders as far as the actors was find a shady spot, rehearse and drink water. That is your job. Don't get heat exhaustion. And then I found out after I was getting really, I was having a really, to be frank, hard time with my breathing, moving around a lot, because I'm still recovering from the thing that's going around.
Right.
And Sunday I was feeling not much better because this was Saturday. So Sunday I wasn't feeling much better. Then Monday I was still feeling pretty rough. And I actually had a moment where I said, you know what? If I wake up tomorrow and my lungs still feel this way, I'm going to the doctor because I just don't know what else to do. And then I found out my inhaler was empty, and that's why I was having extra trouble. Was that because I wouldn't have been panicked, but I'd been like using, from my perspective, I've been using the inhaler that usually fixes this problem when it gets bad. And yeah, it's hard to tell when it's empty because it still squirts stuff.
Really?
Yeah, not much. And I was distracted. It's not like I was sitting there and really watching the inhaler to see if it was like how much it was spitting out and stuff. So yeah, I bought a new inhaler on Monday night, took one hit and went, oh, never mind. I'm fine. I'm going to go to bed. So yay. So, and then yesterday I recorded Weekly Spooky. And then at about noon, I just played Red Dead Redemption 2 online all day. And as soon as you and I are done with this, I'm going to go and do that for the rest of the day too.
Okay.
I'm just trying to recover a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work and I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with all the work the crew put in. And, but I am beat. I'm just beat. And I know I'm trying really hard to be smart enough to know my limits. Because I'm getting at that age where if you don't know your limits, you're going to find them out in a really unpleasant way. So I have an acquaintance who has a successful, I don't want to oust him, but he has a successful YouTube channel and very successful. I mean, 30, 40, 50,000 views a video. Not like crazy successful, but successful and consistently for years. He all of a sudden stopped uploading, and I didn't hear anything from him for about a week. And then he comes back on and he's like, hey guys, so long story short, I started feeling really sick. And I was like, man, I think I'm going to vomit. So I tried to vomit and I didn't vomit. Nothing would come out. Like I wasn't vomiting. And then I went to the doctor and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So they were like, we're just going to do whatever we can. So they did an ultrasound and found out my stomach is just full of little tumors that are stress caused. They're not.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah, no cancer, but they're stress and they had to be removed. So. And the doctor was just like, you no longer have my permission to burn your candle at both ends. Mm-hmm. Like you are now, I should also mention he like runs a business and has the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is related to his business, but he does like a lot for a living. And yeah, he's like maybe a year older than me. He's maybe 35, 36 years old. So I'm trying really hard to, and I think I was so lucky. Oh God, why am I saying lucky? But I feel like it helped a little bit that I had that gallbladder thing, because it kind of made me have to think about my health a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, I will say that while I've been dealing with a lot of stuff ever since my gallbladder surgery, I didn't know until over a year later that post-surgery depression is a thing. And if I had known that, I probably would have talked to somebody about like, hey, so after the surgery and everything, I've been really, really depressed. I thought I was just depressed, like the normal flavor. But yeah, I would have probably talked to somebody.
Yeah.
That like could help. Instead, I just toughed it out. And then I didn't even know it was over a year and a half later. Another friend of mine, he had like some surgery and got post-surgery depression. And he was talking about how he went to his doctor and talked about it. And they had him talk to a therapist a little bit, and they gave him a little bit of medicine to help him kind of even out. And he was like, man, it really helped, because that funk I was in, once it lasted more than a month, I knew I had to do something. I was like, it's been like a year and 4 months and I might still have it at that point, like I was like, oh man, how stupid do I feel? So, but no, so I am trying to, think about my health. Now, the law of the land was, while the movie was being shot, was that is not the case. The movie comes first, health comes second, but then the moment the movie's done, health is first. So that's where I'm at now, is health is first. So I'm going to eat some spaghetti and play video games today. And that's what I'm going to do.
That sounds really nice.
It should be nice. So, and then tomorrow, assuming I've been incrementally feeling better for sure every day.
Good.
But it is slower this time than last time. I think that the sun was really brutal. Because the last few times we had almost 90-degree weather, it got cloudy later in the day, and we all felt better. All of a sudden, we were all like, at 2:00, we were all like, as the clouds came in, we were all like, hey, you know what? Let's keep going. And we went to like 7. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how like just not getting pummeled by the sun really changes things. It's also amazing how people who have never worked like 10 hours in the sun don't know anything about being exposed to harsh sunlight all day and what it does to your body. Because I've had people work on the sets with me and say like, no, I'll be fine. I'm like, put on a hat. Are you insane? Like, are you literally criminally insane? Put on a big floppy hat. Oh my God. And I've had people, when I'm talking about the shoot and I'm talking about the sun, they're like, yeah, that's gotta be rough. It's like, I just love the sun. And I'm like, dude, I love the sun. I tan super duper dark. The sun is actually my friend in many ways, but it's not a beach day. We're working and exerting ourselves unprotected from the sun for hours on end. It's just not the same.
I find that interesting. Not that it's not the same or that it's bad. That when people are like, I just love the sun. Because I'm just like, I don't actually, I have pretty light skin, but I'm not one of those people who like burns instantly or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm still terrified of the sun. Like anytime I'm outside, I'm not going to stand, like, unless I have no choice. Like, I'm not standing in the sun. Mm-hmm. No, not happening. And I'll wear sunscreen, but like, I don't want to be in the sun. When I'm in the sun for more than, a couple of minutes, I just start going like, oh God, I'm going to die now.
Yeah, because you will.
Yeah, I know.
It will kill you.
I don't want to die because of that kind of stuff. So
Well, so that's the thing is people will be like, oh, I like the sun. It's nice. They don't get that. Okay. So it's a low budget movie. If we're lucky, I mean, you can't film. I mean, you can, but not often. You can't really film actors in direct sunlight. You need to either have it on the back of them, or you need to be diffusing it or whatever. Right.
mm-hmm.
So if the actors are in the only shade available, or you're creating shade for them, and you're on a low budget movie where you don't have the kind of money and time to put up a tent everywhere the camera is. Cause on bigger budget movies, they do that. They'll put up like a big tent around camera. Then you end up being like in the most direct sunlight because you're just wherever the shot looks good, but the actors have been strategically positioned to not be in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
And there was one point when I was filming where I said cut on a take, and I literally hollered for somebody to just bring me more sunscreen because the sun was hitting my arm and it felt hot.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah. And I was like, so even though I'd put on lots of sunscreen, I just put more on right there just in case. Just in case. Because I was like, I literally feel like this could burn me, and not like sunburn. I mean like burn me like touching a hot, what was I going to say, doorknob? I've been watching Home Alone too much. But yeah, so it's the same thing with cold too. When you work in the cold, it is not the same as shoveling your sidewalk and making snow angels for 2 or 3 hours. When you're out there for like 11 hours, it's really hard. You get chilled all the way to the bone, even when you're wearing long underwear and stuff. It's just not the same working in the cold.
Yeah, I mean these are all things that a person would know if they played lots of shows. Because I played shows outside where there's been like no shade, and I have to be outside for like 8 hours. And I've been in places where you'd think it would be warm enough to survive, but it's not for some reason.
But then you play shows where there's plenty of shade. People are like, yeah, nice guitar. No, your song sounded great.
Shade, yeah, exactly. Shade, all that shade.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. No, and you're right. Being outside, it's just one of those things. Like day laborers know, gardeners know, like, oh yeah, you got to pace yourself and wear a hat, and you got to do all these things because you're going to be in the sun all day. But then a lot of people who don't work outside, they like just show up like it's a beach day, and it's not going to be a beach day. I'm sorry. I mean, there are similar things you're going to do. You're going to, suntan lotion up and all that stuff, but it's going to be a lot hotter than it's going to get to you is the thing. It's going to get to you. Like I had a guy I work with, he was talking about how on movies, he was talking about how he has to be really good about hats because he'll sunburn his bald spot. He has a little bald spot. And I'm like, dude, when you're out there for 11 hours, it sunburns my part.
Yeah, I've gotten my part sunburned before. Yeah, you have to put sunscreen on your part.
I just wear a big floppy hat.
Oh, I just put sunscreen on my part.
Of life. Well, your hair is like hat adjacent.
It is, basically, yeah.
So, but no, so otherwise it went really well. Eric Whiting is editing the film right now, and he's doing a great job. I've watched a few of the scenes he's cut together. They've come together very well. Good. And the only thing I've been struggling with is honestly, like, I am just so tired. Yesterday, I actually was the first time in 87 at that time episodes of Weekly Spooky that I actually thought like maybe I should take today off from the show.
Wow.
I refuse. I can have a day off after we're over 100.
Okay.
Maybe. I'll probably change that once it's there. So I did manage to get the show recorded. I'm happy about that. So now I have to talk about the thing that everybody is waiting for me to talk about, which is why I saved it.
Oh, right.
Hot tub. My Facebook went berserk when I shared that I was in an inflatable hot tub, mostly with people going, there's a such thing as an inflatable hot tub. I must have sent the Amazon link to so many people. And I also want to say I was really mad because when I bought it, I got it for $520. Then like 3 days after it ships, it was only $500. I was like, man, okay, whatever. Well, then I go to send the link to a friend. It's $550. Then the next day I send the link to a friend. It's $600. Like
It's nothing.
Why did you do this to us, Michelle?
I don't know.
Why is your phone not on silent? What did you do?
Because I forgot. Because it was on silent all day, and then I took it off silent.
All right. I just want everybody who's listening to know that's what Michelle thinks of you. She thinks not silencing her phone.
Well, and now
happy.
I can't do it because it would just be because you told me to. So.
It wouldn't be because you care.
Exactly. So anyway, your hot tub. So it got more expensive again.
Yeah, it just bounced around. It wasn't like last year where it was like, oh, it used to be $500. Now it's $1,000. It wasn't like that. Mm-hmm. But it was, it was bouncing around a lot. So I got the hot tub installed. I got it all, working nice. It turns out pool supplies are really hard to come by right now. They're not like impossible to come by, but like every place I went that was selling chlorine had limits on how much chlorine you could buy. They had limits on how much bromine you could buy. They had limits on how much of that kind of thing you can purchase. So I went to Walmart and got pH up and pH down. This is very exciting stuff. You have to check your pH levels in your hot tub, because basically if your pH is too high or too low, it's going to basically damage the tub and the pump and stuff. So you just want to keep it kind of in the middle. Mm-hmm. Generally, it's not very hard to keep your pH balanced, because if you're already hitting it with tons of chlorine and bromine and stuff like that, it's already having an effect on the pH balance. Mm-hmm. So pH up, pH down. So then I had to buy shock, which I think I talked about last time. Mm-hmm. So I went with a chlorinated shock, a shock made out of chlorine. And what that does is it shocks the water clean. Once a week, you just throw in a big bunch of this chlorine powder, and it only lasts maybe a half an hour to an hour, and it just kills anything in the water for sure. Mm-hmm. Because throughout the week, I use bromine. You have bromine floating around, and that kills things too. But it's a small amount of bromine so that it won't hurt your skin or upset your whatever. I woke up today though, and when I went to take my soak, I used a test strip, and it said that my bromine level was almost non-existent, even though I had a floater with a tab of bromine. So I had to switch to my bigger floater and put 3 tabs of bromine in it. Well, I had a bigger floater from when I had my stupid pool in the backyard. Remember when I had that pool in the backyard that I just wouldn't get rid of, the kiddie pool?
Yeah, I just don't know why you're calling it stupid.
I'm calling it stupid because it wasn't everything I wanted it to be.
I'm sorry.
But no, it's a silly pool. It's fine. I liked it. I really lucked out. I must not have had as high a chlorine content as I thought, because it didn't kill my grass when I just dumped it into the grass. But anyway, so my bromine levels are so low. I grabbed the bigger floater because the thing came with a little tiny floater that held like 1 tablet of bromine. So I've got to check it tonight and see if the bromine levels are better. But to be safe, since that's the second day my bromine levels were really low, the day before my bromine levels were low, so I put a fresh thing in, and that didn't fix it. So it needs just more. Yeah. So to be safe, I shocked it today just to make sure that there's nothing living in there, in the 102 degree water. So, but that all being said, it actually has not been that complicated. I was just trying to be smart. That's what it really comes down to. I was trying to be smarter than everybody else by using like the little floater because it looked nicer and it didn't take up as much room. Mm-hmm. But hot water therapy is no joke, man. It feels so good to soak in that thing. The first night that I soaked in it at full temperature, I soaked in it for an hour and 25 minutes.
Wow.
I just didn't want to get out for anything. So now what I'm working on is a system, because it's like I have my swim trunks. So, because you have to do certain things or else everything will go horribly wrong. Mm-hmm. So for instance, like when you get in the hot tub, you don't want to track anything in. So you need to either rinse your feet off or go straight out of sandals. So I've been using my Crocs, but now I'm starting to get tired of my Crocs being soaking wet when I go to do other things in the morning. I'm like, oh no, these take like 20 minutes to dry. I don't have that. Who has that kind of time? So I've already bought a super absorbent doormat for the inside of my kitchen so that at least it catches a lot of the water that's still falling off of me as I'm toweling myself off and heading inside. So that's number one. I've also discovered that I like soaking in the hot tub so much, I have zero shame if my neighbors come out. Today, I heard a noise and I looked over my shoulder this morning and there was a guy cutting the tree on the, to get it underneath the power lines again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't give a shit. I was like, I am enjoying a soak.
Good.
I don't care that
you shouldn't.
anyone's around.
You shouldn't.
Of
people
course.
with people with in-ground pools don't care.
That's true. I just, I do mostly soak when people are not around though, because it's first thing in the morning or late at night. But that's because that's when it's the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed that my legs feel better, my feet feel better. My shoulder feels a little better, but my shoulder didn't hurt that much to begin with. But my legs and my feet feel like crap most of the time. So this has helped a lot.
Good.
And as long as I get this damn bromine thing under control, because I don't want to use chlorine. It's just because you have to replace it way more often. It's a lot more work. So no, thank you. So now everybody knows how to maintain a hot tub. That's good.
Yeah.
My only complaints with the hot tub are the basic ones. The heater's not super powerful, but so if you set it to like 104 degrees, which is the max, and you put the cover on, it'll get to it in about, about 2 degrees per hour, it'll rise. Once you take off the top, the temperature drops a little bit. It starts dropping.
Mm-hmm.
I like it at 102. So what I do is I get in at 102 and then I turn the heater up to 104 and it seems to keep it at 102.
Okay.
So works nicely for me.
Good.
I'm happy about it. So also I got to figure out what to do with the lid because I can't keep throwing it on the grass. It's killing the grass. The bromine liquid is killing the grass.
Maybe you could get like a hanger and just put
it's too big for that. What I need to do is actually finish cleaning up my back porch so that I can just put it on the porch. But right now the porch is a mess. It needs to be blown off, like all the stuff. I'm really bad about it. I cleaned just enough to get the hot tub in because I was working on the movie and I was being lazy. So once that's cleaned up, I should be able to just toss it onto the other side of the concrete and then it won't matter.
Yeah.
So got to come up with a system of like, I get out of the hot tub, put back on. I'm going to buy I've got a pair of sandals. I actually have a pair of Crocs sandals I'm going to start wearing. Yeah.
Okay.
So get into the sandals, go inside, towel off. I put towel hangers on the back of my back door now. So
good.
That was a nice surprise. It was like $6 for a towel hanger. I was like, oh, that's not bad at all. So I ordered it and it came and it was 4 of them. I was like, oh. Okay. So hang the towel on the back door and then you have to go take a shower. And you have to at least rinse off because you don't want that bromine and stuff to be on your skin all day long. It can irritate your skin. So the thing I'm learning now is I can wash my hair with just water and not get that like itchy feeling from all the sweat.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about? Like when you get kind of like your head gets itchy because you sweated a lot. And then it just dried in your scalp. I get that sometimes. But obviously I can't shampoo once or twice a day. That would be terrible for my hair.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, I'm actually like just massaging water into my scalp.
Okay.
Every other day I shampoo.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean. I mean, I know what it's like when your head gets itchy, but I don't know if it's from sweat for me, or if it's just that my hair is kind of dirty, or I have anxiety about.
Well, that's
something.
A part of why I scratch my head too sometimes. Yeah. This is definitely from sweat because you sweat so much in the hot tub.
Okay, yeah,
that's what I mean. Though is like you sweat a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So overall, incredibly happy with the purchase.
Good.
I hope that it gives me a few years of joy at least. Most of them last 5 years.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So. But I've thoroughly bored everyone now. So I am sorry that I talked about my hot tub so much. I'm really excited about it. I sleep like a baby when I soak in it for like a half an hour before bed. So it's just made me really happy and it's nice to have something for me.
Yeah.
And now I feel really guilty and weird.
No, you just justified its existence. So
I wish something would justify my existence.
The hot tub? You guys could justify each other's existence?
Why do you think hot tubs are sentient? This is weird.
Because it needs, without you, it wouldn't be a fully formed hot tub.
Thanks for listening. You can email us at thisshowis awkward@gmail.com or go to awkwardshow.com or whatever. See you next time.